Hi, can you tell what we're making today? A tic-tac-toe board game. We're using IOD products and DIY products for this. And you can tell I've already made up my X's and O's. Hi, I'm Myra with Boutique Paint. Thank you for joining me. I started out by taking one of the IOD art blanks, and I just glued some wood beads to the bottom. And then I took the dollar store, basically Jenga, they're miniature Jenga blocks, and I'm sure you've seen different projects made with these. And so this is what they used to look like. I think this is the new one, or vice versa. They're in the toy section of the dollar store, not in the craft section. I mean, I know that's probably obvious, but some of us looked for them in the craft section. Just saying. So anyway, we glue up 3 of them in a row, and I just used the tacky glue for that. And we're going to get started by painting these. So I'm going to paint the board white, and I'm going to use White Swan for that. Oop! And I'm going to make a mess right out of the gate. So next I'm going to work on stamping our game board, and I'm going to be using Adornment, and I hadn't used this before, and then I opened it up. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just a gorgeous stamp. And then I got all excited because of course I was planning to use the rope, and then I saw, you know, this one and this one down here, and I got all excited because you could do more of a, you know, frilly fancy one. But I'm going to stick with my rope, and I'm hoping that this will work out as far as spacing on this. It also has a corner, and so we're going to use both of those. And you will want your masking for this. But if you don't have that one, this one would be super cute to use like the daisies, or you could just use something simple, or even the lines here. This is Pennsylvania Folk. But check your stamps. You might be surprised on how many of our stamps have something that you could use this for. So I'm going to grab a thin mount, and I'm going to do the corner first. And I'm really hoping that this whole thing will line up okay. And by the way, this is an 8x8 of the art boards. Line that up. So I'm lining it up on this line and this line. So I'm one line up from the edge. So then I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. Don't stamp it on your board like I'm doing. If you make a mistake, or you get ink on your board, just let it dry and repaint it. So I'm going to try to just go down right on the edge there. I'm gonna just line it up on, so I can back it up a little bit. So it's not right on the edge there. Before I stamp it, I'm going to go ahead and see how the lineup is of this. And it's not bad. Look at that. How'd we do that? It's a miracle. That never happens. Okay, so it would be good if we had 2 of these. And the way we can do that is we could just take this, because we don't have two of the masks, and we're going to just ink it up, and we're going to find a piece of, I had one here, an index card, and I'm just going to stamp it. I'm going to stamp it on the edge so I don't have to cut necessarily a lot of that part. And it doesn't have to be pretty. And then just cut it out. So I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. And I'm going to line it up best I can so that I'm stamping kind of in the middle of the two masks. And right where the mask is, even though the mask is super thin and the paper's super thin, just kind of push a little extra hard right there at that seam. And there we go. And there's a little bit of, you know, we have a little over there and we have a little under here. That's okay. Go. So next what we're going to do is we're going to do the inside. But before I do the inside, I do want to go ahead and paint that a little bit so that all my boo-boos aren't showing. Next, what we want to do is we want to measure for our making our lines through the board. This is an 8-inch board, so it's going to be on 2 2/3 inches. And so I kind of marked it, it's kind of in between those two lines there, so I marked it on my ruler since it will disappear. I'm just going to put a dot, and then I'm going to come and I'm going to put another dot. And because it's kind of a strange measurement, you know, trying to figure that out, I just go along and make sure that I end up here on the end. And it is a smidge off, but I think it's good enough. And so same thing here. Dot. Rotate. Oops. Measure from the wrong spot and I'll really mess it up, won't it? So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and, now you don't have to do this part if you do not have one of these pens. You could, well, you could do it and then just make sure that the whole thing is super dry and then carefully erase. That's why I love these disappearing pens, is because you can do projects like this and not worry about where you're drawing. I'm going to turn this because I can't see my dots. There we go. So there's our lines. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape very, very lightly. So first I'm going to go ahead and stamp the first 2 lines before we have to mask. And I'm going to try to center this now on that line. I hope I can see it, because my own head's, or my camera's in the way. Okay, and we got a little bit of extra over here, so we will have to lift it. Now ink up that side again, that corner. Just kind of eyeball it. So now what we want to do is we want to stamp these. So we have one. And I don't have this one. So what I want to do is cut. And we don't need it the full length, so I'm just going to use this cardstock. And I'm just going to cut a little piece. So for the X's and O's, I used resin and I used the Harper mold. You could use clay or you could stamp them. And this is off the letterpress. It's the middle set. And you could just stamp them on. Just so you can kind of get a feel for it. Very cute, huh? But for mine, since I had to painstakingly board each one of these, and that's the other thing. If you need a project to do for a gift really quick, stamp it, because it's quicker. It just is quicker. Doing all of these, especially poured, took a little time. So it gives you options. And you just glue them on. Clean up your, you might want a toothpick just to clean up your glue a little bit. I believe this dries clear. Let's do an X real quick. That is our project for the week. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions about any of the products I used in this video, you can go to our website at www.boutiquepaint.com. If you have any questions, you could also leave them down below. Thanks. Bye.